Hello, my PMP warriors. Day 39. It's the eve of the grand finale. Now, if you want to be in the grand finale that's happening live, you need to look for the link below. I want you to sign up and I want to see you there. It's day 40 of the 40 days. Maybe you're even already a PMP. That's okay. Come on down, give some support, and let me know how you ace the exam as a result of this curriculum. Today is day 39 where we tackle what you need to do to close the gaps, doing your final revision. I call it the final revision day. So in putting together a final revision plan, there are a few things you need to be aware of. It's a very tasking exam, so you also need to rehearse stamina. You need to get a lot of stamina going in there. You need to plan your sleep. You need to plan how and when you're going to take breaks. You've got to plan your food going in, and so on and so forth. All right? So if you are having trouble putting the entire picture of the PMP exam together, I'm hoping that this helps you. Okay? Now, you should think of weaving everything together in a half day. Maybe you do the half day on your own, but if you don't feel capable of doing the half day on your own, come on down to the half-day boot camp that we run at hpmexam.com. But I really believe putting it together in a half day, just going boom, boom, boom through people, process, business is going to help you. It's rapid. So many people over the past 10 years have benefited from this approach, condensing and compressing all the information in a very short period of time. It acts as an accelerator. Okay? So what is on the exam? A lot of stuff. And in order to get good, I would recommend that you watch videos where you were weak. So as you're going through those mocks, you're finding gaps. Watch videos for each area where you sense weakness. Follow the 40-day plan. The 40-day plan is on the Praizion site. The 40-day plan is also inside most of the videos. In fact, I'll just go ahead and show you how you can get the 40-day plan right away. So I'm going to put the 40-day plan on the screen so that you can get it and you will know exactly what to do. 40 days to PMP exam success. Here is the plan. So if you go to projectmanagementdoctor.com/40-day plan, just like this, you will be able to download the plan. Download the plan. You see it? Click on it. Download it. It's going to open up in PDF format. And scroll down. And you can see for every day, there's a hyperlink. Click on the hyperlink and up comes the video for the day. And there is the reference for PMBOK guide. There's the reference for the Agile practice guide, all the way from day 1 to day 40, right? So there's our wrap-up revision, right there. And part of the stuff I have for the wrap-up revision is actually for you to review 200 questions that I've put out there. Review those questions. They're not namby-pamby. Some of them are easy, but a number of them are pretty aggressive. Watch those videos. I'm telling you, there's 9 hours of content in day 39. Let's make it bigger. I really want to emphasize this, because a lot of folks going into the exam and they're surprised. You want to go into that day 39 and watch my 200 question video. It's out there. I'm also going to endeavor to put a link to it in this video. Okay, so if you haven't downloaded that, do that. All right. So watch all the videos in the playlist. Watch the Knowledge Area series, which I've recently included in there, and ask any questions. Okay? Going into the exam, you got to be cool, calm, and collected. So if there's one thing I want to tell you, it's be cool, be calm, be collected. Don't freak out. Rely on the process. Trust the process. Okay? Be aware and action ready. Crazy stuff happens on this exam. I cannot tell you how many students came back after the exam and said, Phil, something crazy happened. Either a question didn't work, or a computer shut down, or just craziness. So you got to be ready to face the unknown. You got to be aware and action ready. You got to be observant and just make sure that if anything is not adding up or looking like what you expect, you definitely want the proctor to know. All right, lead yourself. Less is more. What am I saying? You got to shut it down. Like, if you're taking the exam at 8 o'clock in the morning, I don't expect you to be studying up till 9 p.m. In my mind, you should shut it down by 7, get a good night's sleep, watch a movie, have some good food, take it easy, get in the right mental state to face the beast. That's my 2 cents to you. Last but not least, M in the calm mantra is all about being mindful of the resource of time. So I want to talk about the resource of time on your exam. Let me show you an example of a question that could be similar in length to a question on the exam. Now, I'm not showing you this question for you to answer it. I'm showing you this question for you to think about how to tackle questions this long. That's why I'm showing it to you. What's your strategy going to be when you get question after question after question that is like this? Think about it. I'm going to give you some time to read the question, so go ahead and read it, and let's talk it through. Go for it. All right, I hope you took some time out to think about this question. Let's take a look at what our options are. Our options are somewhat limited here because I know you're seeing this probably as something that is worthy of the issue label, but that is not an option here, is it? So what are we going to do? Let's read it again. I'm going to highlight a few things for your musing. You were selected as the project manager, so this is who you are. Okay, you're the PM, project manager, okay? On a food service industry project, you suddenly learn that a new COVID-19 law, watch the words, law and regulation, this is non-negotiable, okay, which will affect all food industry businesses and how employees work, is expected to be passed within the next 7 months. Mark the word 7 months. Your project is to launch a new product expected to be complete within 6 months. So even if you get your product done in 6 months, 1 month after, you're going to be hit with this new regulation. So if your project in 6 months does not include that regulation, in month 7, 1 month after, you're going to be in trouble. So it says, this new product would not meet the requirements of the proposed legislation if it passes. What should you do? So you got to get compliant. That's the summary. Anything telling you otherwise is maybe a trick. But let's see, is there such a solution? Because right off the bat, I can tell you, if it's law and it's regulation, you got to be in compliance. You got to be. Even though in the real world, you could say, well, we won't be in compliance and we pay a penalty. No, no, no. On your exam, You got to read it really carefully. You got to read it carefully. And most of the PMI questions, in my mind, will want you to obey the compliance clauses. Okay? So let's take a look at option D. Carry out a SWOT. This means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That doesn't make sense because you wouldn't do a SWOT. In this case, it's more about you, right? It's more about you obeying that law, that regulation. It's less about your capability. But anyway, carry out a SWOT. We could argue, well, you could still do a strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threat around the circumstance. Okay. And then document the change issues. You wouldn't document issues in a risk register. So it's not a possible threat. This is something that is going to hit. This is an issue at this point. You could argue and say, well, it hasn't yet hit. Well, the bottom line is you wouldn't document issues in a risk register. You see, I'm thinking out loud for all those who have similar thoughts, because this is actually a genetically enhanced PMI question, and there's a lot of angst when the question came out. So I've heard a lot about this question. C, through closed project or phase, cancel the project until the legislation comes into effect. How does that make sense? You're already working a project and then you want to cancel it only to awaken it. Beyond that, you're the project manager. Remember who you are. You're not a sponsor, you're not a product owner. So this is not something you have the power to do. So let's get rid of that. B, crash or fast track the project to overcome this schedule risk. So think about the problem here. It's not getting done in 1 month or even in a day. You could get done in a day, and then in the next few months, this thing is going to hit. So the problem is not crashing or fast tracking, right? And it says, overcome this schedule risk, but document it in the meeting log. Well, you don't even document risk in the meeting log. So there's more than one thing wrong with this. And honestly, I made this question a little bit friendlier because it was kind of a violent question that people were getting wrong, leaving it alone the way it originally was. It's almost like there would have been no chance. So I genetically modified it a little bit. So we've got one more. Meet with the stakeholders. Makes sense. You got to talk about the way forward to identify the risks. So this is definitely something that it said is expected. It hasn't passed. So technically, you could still argue that this is a risk that may have some cascading effects, some cascading risk. That can be argued, right? Because it said is expected to be passed. It's not passed yet, okay? So it says to identify the risks, update the assumption log and the project charter, because the project charter has the overarching vision and it helps us understand the compliance at a higher level. So if part of this legislation and regulation is something we need to work on, then it becomes part of an update. Now, I know a lot of people don't know that you could update a charter, but I want to let you know you could and you should where it makes sense. All right, so the answer to this question, my friends, is A. And A reads, this can have a profound effect on the project. This new law can have a profound effect on the project. It will certainly lead to new potential risks, new assumptions, and a possible charter change. All right, this is day 39. What am I trying to help you see? Trying to help you see you got to get your time in. You see how long it took us to analyze it? Well, you got to be 10x in that. You got to be really super quick, and you got to get quick by doing a lot of questions. A lot of questions round the clock. You got to be able to look at very basic namby-pamby questions in like 10 seconds. And honestly, it's really more about the processing speed. For me, it's about how quick are you going to challenge your brain to function on the exam. It has to be quick. Very, very, very quick, like 10 seconds to process some of the information, some of the easy information. Okay. So for now, I want to give you a very quick run through of the namby-pamby basics. And I'm going to use the 6th edition because it's relevant. And very recently, the PMI came out with the process groups practice guide, and that just underscores that, yeah, they're still keeping their eye on that thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's added, to the list of reading materials for the exam, so on and so forth. So I'm going to give you a very quick set of questions. Can we do this? Let's go. Coordinating all monitoring and controlling efforts across the project. What is that? Okay, the answer to this, I'm going to give it to you in less than 15 seconds because it has to be quick. Monitor and control project work, option D. How many process groups are there? You got to know it's 5. How many knowledge areas? You got to know it's 10. Name the process groups. Can you identify them in a lineup? Let's see how quickly you can find the answer. All right. So if you take a very quick cursory look through, you're going to see some words that are wrong. And that's how you need to fly through the questions on the exam. Accepting is C, that's not correct. B is missing closing. And D has managing and controlling, which is not correct. So the answer is A. You see what I'm saying? Just looking at the aggregate of everything here. Which process group has smallest number of processes? It's all about the processing speed. All right, the answer to this is A. It's closing. It's not initiating, it's closing. All right, here we go. A few more. Creating a list of activities. The answer to that is B. Putting tasks in the order they need to occur. Define activities. If you're having trouble keeping up with this and you're meant to have read the 6th, you need to get your skates on even quicker, my friend. All right, this is control cost. Let's move on. Step it up a little bit. Closing out each contract with the respective sellers. Which process is this? The answer is D. Coordinating all executing processes across the project. All right, so that's direct and manage project work. All right, so my friends, the aim of that was to give you a very quick run through just to get you thinking quick. You're not going to get questions like this on the exam, definitely not. This is namby-pamby stuff. This is like ABCs, okay? This is like tricycle training wheels, so keep that in mind. All right, but with that said, we have come to the end of our session for today. On day 39, remember, it's all about going through the process of elimination, like we did in the beginning on this question, how we were able to think through all of the pieces. Now, for those of you who are like, Phil, I can't even wait another day. I want to take the final 180 question mock. What do I do? Well, you go on down to mock.hpmexam.com and you will be able to take the 180 question final mock exam. Highly advise you to jump on this. It will help you. It will firm up your understanding. But you definitely want to close doors while you do this, so you put yourself into an exam mode, okay? But this is what I expect you to do on day 40. But makes a good idea for you to get the stage ready, set the stage, and this will really help you incredibly. All right, my friends. Well, thank you very much for joining me on day 39. Again, look for the link so you can join me on day 40, the 24th of October. We're going to be talking about the grand finale and all you need to know for the exam. All right, my friends, I'll see you on day 40. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe for all these videos. All I ask of you, if you got value from it, hit the like button because it's going to help others find the channel. And definitely subscribe so you'll be notified when there are more videos like this. And even beyond your PMP, there are going to be more videos that will help you. Take care, my friend. Bye for now.